Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome back to the Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. Fellas, how are we doing this fine Thursday evening?
Cody, what's up, buddy?
Not too shabby.
Not too much, man. I feel weird not having Mario do my intro. I'm usually with Mario, so he's my guy.
Me too. I think he's the intro guy.
I think he does. Yeah, he's the intro dude.
Yeah.
He's willing to sell it, that's for sure. He kills it. Yeah. So here's what we got tonight, fellas. We're going to switch things up a little. As everyone's kind of heard, we kind of have the honor, I guess you would say, to take part in the Scott Fish Bowl this weekend. We're going to be live drafting in Canton, Ohio. Mario, Robbie, and myself are going to make the trip over there. So really cool opportunity for us. And so we thought, hey, why don't we throw a mock draft out there that is based on Scott Fish Bowl? Some really weird scoring stuff with Scott Fish Bowl. So we thought it might be a good opportunity to show you guys, the draft we're going to be seeing through live and some of the unique scoring. And maybe it'll give you guys some cool ideas for leagues of your own.
Yeah, for sure. It's an interesting scoring format for sure, and draft concept, which is cool because I've never done one of these. So, Cody, take us in with the QBs and all the kind of weird scoring real quick.
Yeah.
And then we'll get the sucker rolling.
Yeah, we'll get the draft rolling here at 9. We've got a full roster tonight, so we may be just a little behind on a couple of picks here. But Scott Fish Bowl was made or created. It's become just a massive thing with several thousand teams to raise money for charity, kind of get people together, network within the league. And so what they've done, a few things to make it unique is, draft order. Let's say your pick 3. The first 2 rounds, you pick as if you're the third pick. And then in the third round, the draft order actually reverses, which is a really cool thing. And I think kind of evens out the draft board. In terms of scoring for quarterbacks, we're looking at 6-point passing TDs, -4 for interceptions. And then there's a bonus for quarterbacks that have a completion percentage over 66.6% and negative scoring for under 66.6%. It's also got a super flex, so most teams are going to start QBs. So this is going to make it a really, really QB heavy league between the super flex, the bonuses for passing, and the 6-point per pass TD. Really, really heavy on the QB scoring. In terms of other positions, there's tight end sweeteners as well. It's full PPR for tight ends as well as a full point bonus for first downs. And then for running backs and receivers, we've got half-point PPR and then a half-point bonus for first downs. So pretty heavily weighted for QBs and tight ends. Really just an interesting format. It's something fun, don't you guys think?
Yeah, super stoked.
Yeah, I've never done a tight end premium, which is cool. I like the -4 interception and the completion percentage bonus and stuff because that you have to be really calculated in the quarterbacks you're going for. And then it's also a third round switch up. So your snake goes down and back to the second, and then the last pick in the first gets the first pick in the third. That's awesome. I've never done one of those, and I think it kind of evens the playing field out just a little bit. And I think it's an interesting idea, and I think I'll be using those in a couple startups.
Yeah, I like the tight end premium a lot, definitely. And it's weird for me because I'm a guy that tends to wait on QB, not necessarily fade it, but I kind of wait on it. And being that the case, I got to really focus on QB here. So that puts the pressure on a guy like me. Alex, are you feeling good about, kind of drafting 2 QBs and how QB heavy this is?
Yeah, I mean, that's my favorite part is the quarterback and the addition of the completion over 66%. I really enjoy it because you're drafting an actual like QB for what he can do with his arm and not just his leg. So there's a little bit more that goes into it. It's gonna be a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
All right, boys, hitting the start. Let's do it.
All right. So let's go over quick. So I'm going to be the third pick. Alex, where are you picking in this thing?
I think 8.
Yep, you're 8.
Yep, 8.
And then we got Rob picking in the 10 hole. 10 spot is actually going to be our spot in the live draft in Canton this coming weekend on Saturday. Yeah. So Rob's going to give us a good look at maybe what we're looking at for a team for Mario, Rob, and I, and obviously the whole crew, but what we're going to be staring at when we're there.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the 10 hole is going to be our sweet spot. So we're going to see how this plays out.
So looking here early on the board, Josh Allen went number 1. Not surprising. Jonathan Taylor went number 2. For me, I was hoping it was either Jonathan Taylor or Patrick Mahomes. I was really hoping to get Herbert at 3. So I'm happy with how that played out. So I'll take Herbert there. I feel good about Herbert at 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Herbert's a great pick there.
What do you guys think? Obviously Jonathan Taylor is the number 1 pick in the vast majority of redrafts right now. Mm-hmm. Do you like him going 2 overall in this format? How do you guys feel about that?
I would wait. I'd probably take Herbert there, or I'm seeing Patty Mahomes going even earlier than Herbert in some of the mocks that I've seen. So Taylor's a little early for my blood there, but if you have the chance to get the best player in the NFL, I mean, I can't blame someone for taking it.
I agree. Patty was kind of the pick I expected there. I've been seeing him, we've done some mocks in preparation, and I've been seeing Patty go 2 overall. And so there Patty goes at 1-4.
There he is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're going to get, obviously running back is more important every single year. There's less, bell cows, and the gap from those top tier to the bottom are huge now because all the split carries and third down backs. With Taylor, it's the safest pick with a running back. Them getting Matt Ryan isn't a huge negative. So,
yeah.
What do you think of that one, Cody? Lamar Jackson going, what is that, 5th?
Yeah, 5th. Sleeper ranks him this way based on the scoring. So it makes sense there. It's probably a little rich for me with the bonuses for completion percentage and pass TDs, knowing that those things aren't going to be quite the sweetener for Lamar that they might be for other players. So it's a little rich for my blood. What about you?
Yeah, I get it. I do. But ooh, JJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Burrow's a solid pick. I mean, was he the most accurate quarterback last season?
I think he did lead the league in completion percentage. If not, he was top 3. I mean, he was right there.
And I think moving into the stretch last year, it really amped up. So his efficiency coming down the stretch was impressive.
Alex with Cooper Kupp at 1-8. I like that pick there, Alex. I think it was pretty fortunate he fell to you there.
Yeah,
I think there's
a breaking top 5.
Yeah, I think there's a breaking QB after Burrow, just a small break, and so you got the best receiver in the game.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, after this first round here, I'm gonna go kind of into all the people we got here that helped us out for this mock, because we have some really big guys that we're excited to have here. And so this is tight end premium. So Mario, Cody, and myself, we've been kind of talking strategy a little bit. I think we're going to try out a tight end here and see where it takes us down the road. So we're going to go with Kelsey.
And part of our thinking there, if I can add, we think there's kind of a break there at QB, like I mentioned, after Burrow. So if those first, 4 or 5 QBs are gone, we are starting to be interested in a position player, whether that be Kupp, Jefferson, or Kelsey. With Kupp and Jefferson off the board, we'll see what it looks like there. But it's interesting.
Tony with Dak Prescott. So that's Tony at It's Just Fantasy _. He does an awesome job. Go follow him. He does a lot of excellent work for fantasy football, and he's a great follow. One day we had him on yesterday. He's an awesome guest. He was so much fun to have. He's a brilliant guy.
He was so knowledgeable. You're absolutely right, Robbie.
It's crazy. I mean, you can tell he's just a genius. So, again, big shout out to him. Go follow him at One Stat One Day. That's Conan Grun. He's taking Russ on the turn here. Let's see who he goes with 2-1. But that was a fun episode. Yes, and Mark Andrews. So
good pick.
Yeah. So
we got 8 QBs off the board in round 1. I just want to throw that out there real quick.
And I think that's low.
Yep, agreed. I've seen 9 and 10 pretty regularly. At least 8. I would say a smidge low.
Okay, so Tony goes with Matt Stafford. So that's who we wanted.
Yep.
Um,
Man, that was our second round target at 110 to kind of see how it plays out.
So we have Turkey. So I'm debating between Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Derek Carr. Cody.
According to my
Derek Carr.
rankings, it's probably Derek Carr, but it feels
Yeah, it's
strange
gotta
to
be Carr.
do it. You know,
Let's do it. Let's
70.
do it.
He's gonna be close to 70% completion percentage and throw for 5,000 yards probably. So.
And he's got Devontae now, so the passing TDs are going to be there. It feels
Yeah.
weird. We really, our
I
dream
like that
scenario
pick.
was to land Stafford there, but
For sure.
yeah.
So this is Norton 0723. That's Rob Norton. He's another awesome guest who's helped us. He had a huge part in us getting to where we are today. So he's a writer for Last Word on NFL. You can follow him at Norton 0723. Conan, I forgot to mention, he is a writer for Dynasty Football Factory too. So go check out some of his work. And yeah, Christian McCaffrey there. I love it. Kyle Pitts. He's my dark horse for tight end 1. So I love that pick. That's Jeremy at Popes FFH. He is a writer for FTN Fantasy. Again, awesome work. Go follow him. He's a fantasy guru. I love his work. Read his stuff. It's fantastic.
Let's hit a couple.
Hit some of these picks. We'll go back. Yeah.
Yep. So Alex taking Tom Brady there. I think he might have been sleeping on us a little bit and wanting us to take Carr. What do you think?
Yeah, he was getting us to take the guy he didn't want, huh?
Yeah.
No, but I love.
best.
I mean, Tom Brady. How can you go wrong there? He's gonna be.
No.
He's not gonna throw interceptions, which is huge in this format. He's gonna get 30 to 40 touchdowns every year. It's a lock. And so
He's going to complete high, and he's going to throw for a lot.
yeah.
Yep.
So Shadowcat, that's PPR, the PPR show. He's awesome on Twitter as well. So go follow him. He went with who do you go with? Najee. So Najee was somebody we were focusing on as well. If he kind of fell to us in the third, because you're going to see here. So it's going to switch back all the way back to Conan here.
Let me throw a couple things in there. One thing, I ended up with Austin Eckler, which isn't necessarily a target for me, but it's intriguing that Eckler went RB5 and also went after Jefferson and Kupp. So in terms of, like a traditional redraft where there wouldn't be QBs or tight ends there, Eckler just went like 8th overall. That's super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been seeing Eckler go early second in this format.
It is strange.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, with the QBs, which this was right at the end of the second. Yeah. I don't necessarily target him, but I was looking at the QBs. I was looking at, tight end, and I was like, well, if Andrew's there, I'd like it. But yeah, I don't know.
I can't fault you for that, man. I can't fault you.
So we got a couple more QBs off the board in the second round. It was, Stafford and Carr we talked about, Brady we talked about, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, and Trey Lance. Running backs to come off the board were CMC, Najee we talked about, Dalvin Cook, Eckler, and then Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews.
Jamar Chase here at 3-1.
Yep.
With
the reverse
excellent
order.
pick. I didn't think my guy was going to get here. Cody, should we do it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a dream scenario for me. Just so everyone.
Yeah.
I spoke on him yesterday. I think Kirk's going to be excellent.
Oh, hello,
I have Derek Carr.
Captain.
I have Derek Carr and Kirk there. I'm excited.
Yeah, I like it. So far, it's if this works out for you guys, I'll be happy.
I'd be dancing in the street with this start.
Yeah, it's I think there's a good chance of it happening because I think we as a group are a lot higher on Kirk than most of the fantasy community, and we're not saying he's a top 5 guy, but he just came off the board as QB. Let's see, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah,
QB 15. I love it.
QB 15 here. I'll take that all day.
Yep.
I'll take that all day.
What do you think here, Alex? Talk us through it.
I have to go with the dude who's going to be getting maybe the most targets in the NFL this year.
I think it's between those two. Well, besides Cooper Kupp, I think it's between Diggs and Adams.
Kupp, Adams, and Jefferson. I think those. Yeah, I mean Diggs. I mean, there's going to be a ton of targets, and Carr did well. I mean, he threw the ball a lot last year. They're not going to throw it. I don't think less. Adams is a dog. I had to do it.
So this is kind of the scenario that you see that we're debating through as well. So the PPR show, he went Jefferson, Najee in a second. So now his QB1 is Lawrence.
Yeah.
It gets scary. It gets real thin real quick if you don't get 2 quarterbacks within the first 3 rounds.
I'm sitting here even looking. I have Justin Herbert, but I'm still looking at the QBs and thinking, man, do I have to pull the trigger on a guy right now? Because it gets you nervous, even when
It's
you have
thin.
one good one, just
It
because they're
gets
so
very
important.
thin.
Yeah. Rob, did you get to do introductions for everybody? You got anybody else you want to hit there?
So Steele 4689 here. This is Ian Steele. At Ian Steele FF. He's a co-host of For FF's Sake. So go follow him. Go check out his podcast. We're always talking with him. We're always interacting with him. He does awesome work, and he's awesome on Twitter. We kind of go back and forth with that group a lot. So he's a fun follow as well. And Triple FTP. That's I believe Ryan Larson at Triple FTP. He does awesome work on there. We're going back and forth with him on there. So he helps us out a lot with these mocks and with other stuff that we ask for the community. So go check all these guys out that I just mentioned, because they always help us out and we want to help them out. So go give all of them a follow. And we put them up on our Twitter before the show. I tweeted out all the guys that were in here, and they're fun, man. It's a good group to follow for sure.
I'm excited. Did you guys have Rob, outside of the pick for 10, if you're going into this, do you have strategy? Is there a certain strategy? Do you want 2 QBs off?
Yeah.
Do you want to have 2 best of certain positions, so at least
That's a good question. So
dominant one way?
That's a fantastic question, which is what we've been, like I said, Mario, Cody, myself, we've been kind of battling this the past.
There's about 400 text messages related to this.
We've been going back. I mean, I woke up to about 50 text messages this morning. So our idea of how this is going is the RB position in this format is probably the most undervalued position out of all of them, right? So we're kind of going with a 0 RB approach, and hopefully it pans out. Maybe not exactly 0, but we're probably going to wait.
1 RB approach.
Yeah, we're going to wait it out a little bit on the RBs, and hopefully we can get 2 solid tight ends and maybe 3 wide receivers and 2 quarterbacks in the meantime. RB punt is what we're going with, just with the setup of how the points are allotted.
I would say overall, let's say first 5 rounds, I think it's probably likely we come away with, call it 2 QBs, a tight end, and 2 receivers. That's probably likely our first 5 picks, I'd imagine, in some order, depending how things fall.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
We had a lot of discussions on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to hit a few picks here, and we can get back to that.
Run these picks.
Middle of the last round, we had Trevor Lawrence, like we talked about, as QB1 for that team. And then Joe Mixon, Justin Fields. I took Tua as my second QB.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb and George Kittle rounded out the 3rd round. Starting the 4th round, we got Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones. I took Mike Evans. I want to add just one tidbit there. I felt like I was reaching a little on Mike Evans in the 4th in this format, but being that it's a half PPR and a half first down bonus and not such a sweetener, I want the TD guy. Those TDs are worth 6.
100%.
So give me the big play guy, the big TD guy. I think a guy like Mike Evans is. I would generally take Keenan Allen there, somebody like that. Maybe not Keenan Allen per se, or CeeDee Lamb. I guess CeeDee went before me, but Mike Evans with the TDs in this scoring format, I like better. And then Saquon, Debo, Javonte Williams, T. Higgins, Matt Ryan goes to Alex for a second QB. So he's got Brady, Matt Ryan, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Leonard Fournette, and then Rob, tell us where you're at.
So I just went with Keenan, like you were just talking about him. I think he is going to be that first down receiver this season. He always is.
He's the best receiver on the board at this point.
Best receiver on the board. We've talked about this. We're fading AJ Brown. We're not huge on him. We don't think he's going to do well there. Even though it's half point PPR, Keenan Allen's still going to get over 100 receptions. He always does. And he's going to be that guy for the first downs. So I do think that will factor in. I think he'll give us a couple extra points per game boost just with that first down half point, which is cool. It's a cool little different thing there for you. But I'm excited to see how this team plays out. I like Keenan Allen as wide receiver 1 in this format.
Probably his last year over 100 catches. Realistically,
Mike Will.
For Keenan, with Keenan Allen, I think he's got 5 years of 100 catches. It's like 4 or 5 years of 100+ catches, and after the 5th time, I think only 3 receivers have ever done it.
Real quick, I was hoping Michael Pittman will make it back to us, but he went at 5'1".
Me as
I
well.
would have
Me as well. there.
loved to get Pittman.
Yeah. Nick Chubb at 5'2". Yeah, Alex, I think you bring up a good thing there, though. Rob, what are we looking at here? Let's talk through it. We got a little time. We're back on the
So we
clock in the
have
5th
Darren
round.
Waller, Dalton Schultz here for tight ends. Receivers, we got DK, Jalen Waddle, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson.
I think 5th is a round early for Schultz for me.
I do too. I want to wait till
this
60.
would be Terry McLaurin for me because I think Carson Wentz is enough of a QB upgrade that there's touchdowns there this year. This is probably a Terry McLaurin pick for me, but I want to see what you do here.
I'm with you. I'm all on that.
You like it? Okay.
Let's do it. I do have to say, if you haven't, go watch last night's podcast. Go listen to it. Conan gave some very interesting stats on Jalen Waddle.
He did.
And he is definitely behind on that.
Yeah. The yards after catch data was great.
It was fantastic. It was, and just the fact that his average depth of target was 88th in the league at like 6.8.
Yep.
It blew my mind when I heard that stat. And then he had top 10 yards after catch. Yep. So it just shows the versatility and the playmaking ability of him. So I'm starting to reconsider where I'm ranking him here.
Yeah. Darren Waller went 5'4", and then Alex, talk us through your team. How are you feeling right now with your pick and your team overall?
I like it. I like my picks, and my strategy kind of going into this was if I could get 2 players in the top 5 of their position, especially with quarterback or wide receiver, I was going to do it. So if I thought I could get 2 top 5 QBs, I was going to go that route. If not, I wanted to go at least to get 2 top 5 wide receivers. I kind of wanted to get somewhere where I was loading up heavy. So, and outside running back not being as important in this league, to me it was either quarterback, wide receiver. So I went the wide receiver out.
Don't hate it.
Nope, I don't hate it either. I'm sitting here with a running back in round 2, but it was only because of the value. I like the idea of RB until round 5. I like it a lot.
I like David Montgomery.
So I'm gonna do what I told you not to do, Rob, and it's yeah.
So
Rob, I'm gonna do what I told you not to do just because he's the next off the board. I'm gonna go Dalton Schultz here because I don't have a tight end. That would have been our second tight end at the 10th pick, but I'm sitting here at the 3rd pick without a tight end, and I think
sabotage.
He wasn't making it back. It makes you feel better.
Nah, I don't think he was. So I think this is where we're going to see a big run on tight ends.
Maybe at least Hawkinson yet. We saw Waller go. We saw Schultz go. Maybe Hawkinson yet, and then there might be a little lag there. But 2 tight ends in this round is still, like you said, it's pretty heavy. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so we had Montgomery to Alex. We had Tannehill at 5'6", James Conner 5'7", Zeke, DJ Moore. I took Schultz, and then Travis Etienne goes 5'11". Interesting approach here. Absolutely loaded at running back. And they're all studs. So you got to wonder, it doesn't necessarily favor running backs in the scoring format, but he's got Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, and Travis Etienne. Hard to argue with that.
What I will say on that, I do like it because I've said this 100 times, Aaron Jones, Travis Etienne, they're both capable of having 100 targets.
Yeah.
Close to it. Maybe not 100 targets, but upwards of that range for a running back, which is they'll get the first down for rushes and they'll get the first downs for receptions as well. So it's not a bad strategy right there.
Yep. So after ETN, we had Josh Jacobs, first running back for that team at the end of the 5th round. Circle back with Marquise Brown, start of the 6th, and then Deontay Johnson. I went Mike Williams, loading up on those heavy TD receivers still.
I like Mike Williams a lot.
Yeah, I like him too. I wouldn't say he's necessarily, in my top 12 or anything, but I suppose when you're sitting in the 6th round,
I do like him.
Okay.
He was top 12 last year. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
I think I'm really going to be chasing these TD receivers in this format because I think that's it's what counts. Yeah. You want to say, I guess.
I don't think you're wrong with that.
Hey, there's your Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, if he was coming back, I was going to take him, but there's no way he was going to make it.
No.
So this is where it's getting interesting here.
A couple of teams have 3 running backs now. There's 4 running backs for Shadowcat, which I mean, it's hard to argue against, having lots of running back talent. They're probably looking at the board right now thinking, how's this player still here in the 6th round? I have to take them.
So Cody, just
Mhm.
are we thinking running back here coming up to us?
Let me see
Hawk
what's on
goes.
the board. Oh,
Let's see
I'm
what
loving
Rob
my
goes with
team.
here.
Oh,
He
it's
took
so
Darren Waller. I
pretty.
like him.
there's Hawk. Yeah. Yeah. I like the Hawk take there, by the way, Alex, in the 6th round. Man, I guess I want to say running back, but I'm starting to think if we hit it on the way back, because I think the guys I would like most, maybe an AJ Dillon or a Damian Harris, I think they're going to be there when you come back around. Those would probably be a couple of my top guys of this group. Elijah Mitchell's nice. What are you thinking? Talk it through.
Running back wise, I would go with AJ Dillon.
Okay.
From what we have here, receivers. Do you take the shot at DK Metcalf here as your receiver, your third receiver, or do you go with a more conservative Brandon Cooks? I think I'd go with DK, or do you go Cortland Sutton? He's still on the board.
I got a feeling with the way you like Cortland Sutton, that might be the right pick because I think AJ Dillon's. I'm guessing. Oh no, there goes Cortland.
There
Sutton.
goes Sutton. Okay. Or you
I think
could go.
AJ Dillon could make it back, but I'm risking it here by saying that.
Yeah, it's scary. Because I think Conan only has one running back. I don't want to risk. I don't want to risk missing out since we talked about J.K. Dobbins as kind of our border. So J.K. went. I want to make sure we get at least a decent running back. So we're going AJ Dillon.
Yeah. Don't overcomplicate it.
And he has the potential to be a TD back, what you like in this format.
50-50 split, and they don't have the receiving core doesn't look amazing. They're going to be good.
What Jones could be a top 5?
I don't think so.
Aaron Jones?
Yeah, probably Aaron Jones. And we had a guest on, I don't remember if it was last night or a different night, who kind of talked about the lack of receiving weapons in Green Bay and how much Aaron Jones could be used as a receiver, which he already is to some degree. But if they line him up as a receiver, it's interesting.
That was Conan. Yeah, and I'm big on that too. I think he's going to I think there's going to be a lot of AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones on the field together.
Yeah,
for sure.
And they should. Honestly, it's probably their 2 best offensive players. They'd be crazy not to.
Yeah. So Tony
outside
has
of Rodgers, of course.
Let's run down Tony's team here. He went Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Nick Chubb. So I'm going to assume he's going to go with a tight end or a running back here.
Well,
or a receiver. I'm sorry.
Kamara.
That's an interesting one.
Man,
before the Kamara pick, I look at that. I'm like, hey, great at QB, great at running back. You need some work at receiver, but you've got a couple of super strong position groups there.
Yeah. So, do we punt on the tight end here? Now that
I think so. I think
we wait till Komet. Hopefully, he took.
Yep.
Conan took DK from me. Okay, I was hoping DK'd get back to us.
With Sutton gone,
I mean, my Amon-Ra love.
Yeah, I'm okay with Amon-Ra.
This format does not bode well for. He's not. I don't think he's going to come down with 20 touchdowns.
I don't.
He's
I
going to
don't
be a
love
PPR
it, but
machine.
it's probably. I don't love it with all the uncertainty with Deshaun, but it's probably time for Amari Cooper to come off the board. And I don't love him per se, but when we start talking about he's hanging out with Jerry Jeudy and I'm going to miss 6 games, Chris Godwin and Brandon Cooks, I start liking it.
Man, Elijah Mitchell. I was hoping he was going to drop. Ooh.
Yeah, I like Mitchell there.
We could look at running back here just to see what's available. We have Ken Walker. Dame Harris is still there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But I think we could wait and get like a Kareem Hunt, Tony Pollard.
And a Darrell Henderson.
Yeah. You want to go Amari?
That's my pick, but this is your team, Rob. Do what you want to do, and we'll see how it is. This gives us something good to look at, man. So do your thing. If you want to do a running back, go for it.
No, I think I want to go receiver here for sure.
Okay.
So it's between Amari and Amon-Ra for me, but I'm with you, and we don't need to get into this right now. I don't think that suspension is going to be as long as people are thinking, just with how all the reports coming out. So I'm cool with Cooper.
Yeah, and really, you guys talk through some picks here if we need to catch up. I'm going to look at something.
Go ahead. Okay, so where did we leave off? Do you remember here, Cody?
Sorry, I was counting something. I think we kind of softly did the Kamara area, but we didn't really say him well.
So Kamara went 6'11". Conan
Yeah.
took DK, which is who I really wanted to come back to me at 7'3". And then he took Elijah Mitchell on the turn there at 7'1". Tony, he went Jerry Jeudy at 7'2". I went with Amari Cooper, which I do like here in the 7th round. I think that's fantastic value.
Real quick, what I was doing there, that's wide receiver 22 off the board. I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And then even at Brandon Cooks at 23, that's still a fantastic value there for Rob Norton. And then Alex went Miles Sanders. And Jeremy at Pope's FFH, he went with Treylon Burks there at 7'6". So the first rookie receiver coming off the board in the 7th round. Alan, so here we got a little run on receiver. So
we do.
Shadowcat, the PPR show, he went with Allen Robinson. There goes my guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Ooh, there goes my guy.
I wanted Mooney.
I was teed up on Mooney. Oh, I was literally had my cursor over it waiting.
Almost took him over Sanders.
Boy.
So Ian Steele, he goes with Darnell Mooney there at 7'9", which how can you say? I mean, he's going to get 150 targets. So
he is. So I'm sitting here with 2 QBs in Herbert and Tua. I've got 2 receivers in Mike Evans and Mike Williams, which I feel great about in this format. Dalton Schultz as my tight end at the moment. I'd like to add another, but I feel good there. I kind of talked about I'm going to wait on running back, but I'm in the 7th round and I like Damian Harris quite a bit. I think it's probably the right time for me to go in on Damian Harris. Ken Walker's there, which interests me for the upside, but Damian Harris feels really safe to me.
You got Herbert, Eckler, Tua, Mike Evans, Schultz, Mike Williams, and Harris now. So your team is rounded out, right?
It is 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a tight end. It's I don't
about
know.
as level as you can be, which is, I mean, it's not a bad play. Especially at where you're picking. I think that's the right move. I think where we're picking, I do like the fade approach a little bit with the RBs.
Yep. I do. I feel a little weak at receiver, but we'll see how it comes together here. Knowing that I'm going to start 3 of them, I feel a little weak.
There's plenty, though.
Yeah.
There's plenty. You could take, I mean, if it was me coming back to you, I'd consider a D-Hop here. Stash them for 6 weeks, and then then your receivers are money going into, if you can get there, money going into the playoffs.
Kind of the same story for Godwin too, I guess. What do you feel Godwin versus D-Hop? Give me that.
I would go D-Hop because there's no questions he's wide receiver 1. And you also have Mike Evans.
That's true. I don't really want to stack receivers. Yeah.
Tony Pollard going there at 7'12". So I was hoping he would last to me coming up here. I was hoping Dame or Pollard. Now I'm hoping for Hunt to get back to me over there at 8-10, so we got a little bit to wait.
Scary words are about to be said. I'm gonna take Rob's advice here.
You love it, D-Hop. I love it. 8-3. That's big. I mean, you're getting a top 10 receiver easily. I mean, I know he's out 6 games. I get it. Is it 6 or 4?
I believe it's 6.
6.
Okay, but when he comes back, you're
got to compete with Hollywood.
Please.
You're
You don't know if Hollywood is good or not because Lamar Jackson was the quarterback.
There's a little bit of truth in that.
Doesn't matter. I agree with that. I agree. He could be good, but even when D-Hop comes back, he's going to be the alpha. There's no question about it.
How old is D-Hop now?
He's
29.
I don't think he's that old. For
not
receiver,
even that old. No, that age doesn't scare me. Yeah.
No.
Even if
he's 29, I think that's on.
I just don't know what his age is, honestly.
I'll get it here. Alex, you're up in a couple picks. Tell us what you're looking at.
I'm kind of just at this point wanting to take what the best value is. I'm set at receiver. I would like to add another one. I'm happy with my RBs. I'm happy with my tight end. So I would like to go either another tight end or receiver. I just don't know where I kind of want to go with it. I have 2 guys in mind. I don't want to say anything just in case this person drafts them. So
right.
Okay. But there's a couple guys.
That's the fun part of doing this live for everyone to watch is they get your ideas. Right. But
you don't know how much they're paying attention to what we're saying.
True. I mean, I'm having trouble paying attention and everything. So
right.
I do. Okay. So Michael Thomas went there at 8-7 to Jeremy. That's an interesting pick. Zach Ertz. Okay. I was hoping he was going to fall. He was kind of my next tight end up here. So I think
And
we're
Alex
really
took Drake London real quick. I just want to throw that out there.
yeah. So that's the second, I believe,
Rookie. Yep,
rookie
Traylon Burks
receiver
and then
coming
Drake.
off the board.
Yeah, he's wide receiver 1 day 1. So kind of hard to. He's big.
Hey,
Hopefully
hey,
he
Cody.
gets some red zone.
Yes.
Got a question for you here, Cody.
Yep.
The mocks that you've been doing here for the Scott Fish Bowl, where has Cole Kmet been going?
Not quite yet, but I'm starting to get slightly. I think coming back might be the time, but we're going to be going pretty early on him. Yeah, that's pretty early. I mean, but I know Mario's got burned a couple times waiting. I don't think I'd do it yet, but I'm not loving anything here.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Maybe a third QB. What about like a Jared Goff? I wouldn't mind a little insurance at QB.
I'm going to tell you to pick Jared Goff, but I'm going to pick him if you. I was going to say.
Oh, that's a good pick. No, honestly,
Yeah.
he should go. Rob, that's okay.
Walker's good.
Yeah.
I was going to almost pick Walker.
In RB2 is just fine here. I know we talked about waiting, but that's probably the better pick. I probably was pushing you in a dangerous direction.
I mean, you guys will probably have the chance.
All right. Okay.
So
we want RB2 there with Ken Walker.
Yeah. Let me take a step back real quick,
fine.
Rob, and catch up. So I had taken D-Hop and then Daniel Jones, Devonta Smith, Carson Wentz went, which I like that spot for Carson Wentz in the middle of the 8th round. Michael Thomas, Drake London, and that gets you caught up to where we were. Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, that's okay. So that's fine to see. A running back there makes sense. I would have went Kareem Hunt personally. If it was if
Mac.
I was paying attention.
I love the Mac pick. I love the.
So this isn't. I have been seeing. There have been a few Scott Fish Bowls already, and I have been paying attention to it. Deshaun Watson has been going around the 9th, 10th, so that's something to keep an eye on. I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger here, but it's just something to note.
It is interesting.
Why? There's so much value still at this round. It's kind of. I don't know.
Do you think Cole Kmet here, Cody?
I think we're early, but if we really want him, it's probably the spot.
Yeah.
I think you're right. There's just so much premium in a tight end, especially Hunter Renfrow.
We've got 10-ish tight ends off the board right around there. So it's probably taking this tight end 11, which is a little high, but.
That's a guy who I was going to pick if not Drake London. So
I'm fine.
I was going to take it. Yeah, I would have taken him if Drake was gone.
I'm gonna steal Mario's line, but Mario thinks that Cole Kmet's just gonna be a target monster, and I can see it. Allen Robinson gone, Darnell Mooney's great, we all love him, but there's a ton of targets available in Chicago. So
I think between Mooney, Kmet, and Montgomery, I think that's where every target's going.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson here to Rob Norton here in the 9th. Does he have? So he has Murray. Okay, so that's his RB or his quarterback 2. He took him over Jared Goff, which Alex took, of course. Is that your second or third quarterback?
That's my third QB.
I love Jared Goff as a third. I kind of, I know I love him as a third QB.
I love it there.
Steady Eddie.
I'd like a third QB, Rob, and it's starting to get thin. I'd like to talk about that when you come back around, I think, but because I'm not liking what's left.
Yeah, 100%. Now's the time to make that move.
And here's the hard part. I'm probably going to take one of them here because I'm going to be fair in this mock.
Just say it. Say Baker Mayfield.
Honestly, it's getting close. I mean,
that's going to hit me as I'm probably going to have to take Baker Mayfield, and then
you're not taking.
I might take him before it gets to you.
Yeah, I'd rather have somebody else here, but
you'd rather have
people.
Jameis, huh?
2 people more.
Is Jameis one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. And James and Deshaun, I'm guessing.
Davis
Mills.
Yeah.
Over Trubisky and Baker, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd probably be there, but he's ranked higher, so clearly I'm the guy who's, you're not the one out of sorts. So clearly that's a weird me take more than it is.
Especially with this format. Especially with the format.
What about this format makes you like Mills more?
I think he is less prone to turning the ball over.
Okay.
They could be good on offense, surprisingly, with
Who's this?
with what they did in the draft with Mills. I
Mills?
mean,
Yeah,
I
I
don't want to
like
put a
Mills.
lot of stock into it, but I'm like, if I'm looking at it and I watch him play, I'm like, my gut is telling me with Collins and Michi, and Cooks, like
That's a
that's
steal.
pretty solid. That's a
Yeah.
pretty good receiving core you want. You know, Nico Collins is your typical Michigan receiver that Harbaugh never figured out how to use, just like Donovan Peoples-Jones, just wasting
Fair.
talent, wasting talent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love John Mechie coming in.
Yeah,
Alex,
it's
catch us up on some picks. I think we might have quit at Clyde, but I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
where were we at?
Clyde Edwards.
9-6.
9-6. Okay, yeah. So after me, it was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then Garrett Wilson. I do like that Garrett Wilson pick there. Chris Olave, of course. Then Kareem Hunt, which is a great pick. Adam Thielen, that's who I wanted next. He's a touchdown machine, so that's really going to pay off in this league. Jameis, don't hate it. Deshaun Watson, I kind of hate it. But and then Chris Godwin, I had him up on my board, like coming up close too. So when he's healthy, he's Chris Godwin.
So that's where he's going, Cody. Is
Yeah.
9-10.
Yep.
Yeah. Baker, love it. I will talk crap about Baker all day, but I do want to see if he can turn it around.
And it's a QB3. He's my bye week fill-in or an
Right.
injury guy. I mean, I don't have to bank on him, but I think you got to in a super flex. I think you got to come away with 3 QBs, and it is
Yeah,
getting
for sure.
thinner
It's a
than
great
thin.
pick. He might
For
be on
sure.
a revenge tour. I mean, you never know. This guy might
Week 1
be
he will
like,
be.
you might want to get.
I would start him
super
week
duper
1 if I
paid.
was you.
Hey, quick! I'm gonna do something that I would get on other people for doing. I'm gonna derail us here. I saw a funny thing today that the Browns are paying so much of Baker's salary that week 1, when the Browns and Panthers play, the Browns will be paying Baker $580,000 to play against them.
Sounds about
That's a
right.
bad feeling.
And the fact that, like, I mean, by then they'll know what's going on with Deshaunson, but if you don't have him for a full year and you kind of just did this, it makes you look real dumb.
Yep. Hey, real quick, I want to tell you, Rob, I think a good Cole Kmet grab, because seeing Irv Smith and Gesicki go, it would have been real dicey if he made it back.
I
to
agree.
you. Real dicey.
So if he did, I mean, I would hope that maybe Irv Smith would fall to me, but Jeremy over here is in the chat. He's talking about he's been taking him in the 11th every time, so it'd be real dicey. I don't know if it would have fell to me.
Let's
Would you
see.
have won a third tight end here?
No,
Okay.
no, I think we could get somebody like a maybe a Robert Tunyon later on, like
Yeah.
15, 16.
I don't think it matters. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. The reason we're so worried about getting a second one is we might contemplate flexing one, not in our super flex, but another flex spot.
Correct.
Because of the bonuses for tight ends. So there's a
Yeah.
good chance we might start 2 tight ends some weeks. And that's the reason that you see people grabbing a second tight end already. Alex, give us the picks there immediately before you, kind of after Irv Smith and Mike Gesicki, because we talked about those, and then your pick.
So Christian Kirk, that is a really good pick. Probably going to be the Jags #1.
It's the last wide receiver one on the board. That's for sure.
Yeah. Juju Smith-Schuster could be, depending if Moore takes it or
great pick
if,
right there.
So I like that. I wanted to get a second tight end, and I think he has a lot. I think Pat has a lot of upside. I think Trubisky's probably going to be dumping it off a lot. So I don't hate the pick. Rashad Penny is –
I love
that's
it.
a crazy and that's
I
the
love
thing.
it
Like
there.
the dude
That's
was
cheap.
what, a first rounder. When he's healthy, he is very, very good.
He
They're gonna
is.
run
So we
He's the
spoke on
starter
that.
when he's healthy.
We spoke on that yesterday. All reports coming out of Seattle is Rashard Penny is by far the #1 running back. There's no question about it. He's going to get the ball. I would for sure rather have Rashard Penny than Ken Walker. So that was an auto pick by me.
Dynasty. I want Walker.
Mistake, but
But
yeah, for sure.
But Penny's good. He's really good when he's healthy. He's really good.
So in an ideal
Rob,
world, I would have probably taken Kareem Hunt there at 8-10. But I get it. And if I'm going to have Ken Walker, I was really hoping to get Penny on this 11 turn here. But it didn't come out that way, so I'm gonna pivot.
Well, I think we need a receiver, and the guy I was looking at
Yeah.
when you took Mills went right after. I was actually really interested in IU coming back
Ayuk.
right here. I wish that would have been there because I like it a lot better than anything else on the board personally.
I'm
Um,
a big fan here. Where's he at? Right there, Lazard. Just
oh yeah, I'm cool with that.
he went though.
I'm cool with that.
So I'm
Oh,
thinking
shoot.
maybe
didn't
Russell
do that.
Gage. That's
I
a
just think you're getting 6 weeks of Gage, and the reason I say that is I think Godwin's a better player, and that's that. You better hope you want to
Issues-
start in the first 6 weeks because I just don't think he's going to be a thing after that. Not that he won't be relevant on the team. I just don't think he'll be necessarily.
Would you
starting.
rather have him or Lockett?
Lock
Is
it.
neither an option?
Lock it.
Sky Moore, Jameson Williams,
Sky Moore.
Let me look at the running backs.
Cordell Patterson.
I would probably go Cordell Patterson, but we don't really need another running back, so I don't feel great about that. But
I think I'm gonna go Cordell.
I mean, you're talking a top 12 running back from last year. Do I think he's going to repeat? No, but there's a good chance he's a top 24 running back. And at the point we're at,
getting him in the 11th round is
yep.
got to be a steal. I was hoping
Yep.
Woods. There goes
Russell
Gage.
Gage won it. Yeah.
You know, one thing to consider, Rob, I'm starting to, as much as we said, hey, we're going to focus on receiver over running back, we let the draft come to us, which I prefer, and we've taken
Yeah.
running backs when they're the best player. But I'm not feeling good at receiver. I feel okay, but I feel vulnerable because we got to start all three receivers we have, and what we're going to have as a bye week fill-in or an injury fill-in or a fix, it's going to be a little ugly here, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I agree. It was
But I feel
not.
good about the team. I like everything you took. I mean, I think it was the right picks. It's just we've ended up a smidge thin at receiver.
Yeah, I'm going through receivers right now, trying to figure out.
Yeah. While you're doing
Away.
that, Rob Norton took Russell Gage right after. That might have been mentioned. Alex took Devin Singletary. I think that's a nice pick there. I know he gets a lot of heat from other guys on the podcast for the Singletary love, but I think it's a good pick there. And then Cook, the other Buffalo running back, comes off the board right after Singletary. So we've got pick 11-7 up here. Man, I can't believe we're about to be the end of the 11th round already.
Oh boy, let me get down here a little bit. So yeah, we got Russell Gage, Singletary, Cook.
Mm-hmm.
He's scary, Cook. You just don't know what you're gonna get. J-Mo Williams, I think he's gonna be a monster in the back half of the year. That's why I was really considering him. I think he'd be a very good
I'm on
late
the clock.
play. Sky Moore, there he goes with Ian Steele there. So
Good pick.
that's a solid pick. So those are who I was kind of between was J-Mo, Sky Moore, Tyler Lockett.
Rob,
don't love
I'm going to
Tyler
bite us here.
Lockett.
I'm just trying to be really realistic about this, and this is the player I would take here. He's a player I would push you to take later, but I'm ready to take him in the 11th round. So he's a guy I'm going to push you for on Saturday, though. I can tell you that.
That's
right now.
fine. So that'd be a solid pick for us if we So if we took a receiver there, right in the 11th,
coming back around,
coming
at
back
12.
on the 12,
Yep.
that'd be a very good play. But
If I
you
can
see,
get the
you see
guy
where
I
it
want.
starts
Oof.
getting thin very quick
It does.
in these rounds right here, 10, 11.
Yep, it does.
But how about your 9, 10? I love that pick. Adam Thielen in the 9th.
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
It's a great pick.
it's a consistent theme here. Do you remember what the theme was? And I don't know if it's good or bad.
Touchdowns.
Yep, I'm chasing
Touchdowns.
touchdowns for receivers, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right thing. But it's that's a thing.
I don't hate
in
it, man.
fantasy football many years ago. We used to kind of chase those touchdowns, and then PPR came along,
Yeah.
and we started liking these reception monsters. And so it feels a little nostalgic to chase TDs. I haven't done this in a lot of years.
You're loving it. I can see it. in your
I'm kind of
face.
enjoying it. I mean, like the Mike
Those
Evans, they're
receivers-
fun players.
That's I love your receivers, honestly.
Good. I appreciate that. All right. So after what I did was I took Darrell Henderson. I guess I didn't say the player. If anybody listens, they know I've got the Darrell Henderson love at 11-10, MVS at 11-11, Stevenson 11-12, and we're on the clock at the 11-12 turn right now. Guys, it's getting thin everywhere. My goodness.
Yes. So, Cody,
Yes.
let me ask you this here.
Mhm.
We took Davis Mills in the 10th.
Yes.
I think maybe a play would have been to take Alan Lazard there
Okay.
and pray we get a quarterback.
Well, even if Davis Mills doesn't come back, it's still just our QB3. So if Davis Mills doesn't, like Mitch Trubisky's still on the board, you can live with Mitch as your QB3.
Yeah. So I think that's maybe
Maybe wait
that's
a
why
little
you do
longer,
mocks, right?
QB3.
People, that's why
Yeah.
you do mocks. You play this out, you see what you did wrong and where you can improve. So maybe that's
Yeah.
a play we do at the 10. We take Lazard, let it come back around. Hope Mills or Mitch Trubisky's there, and
Yeah.
we move on.
James Robinson. I do like it that late.
I'm gonna hit two, unless maybe for me, if there's a guy like Jared Goff there or Jameis Winston, that might still make me pull the trigger over Lazard, maybe, just because I think they're a step above guys like Davis Mills and Mitch Trubisky. I think there's good value there.
That's fair.
Hey, I want to hit something real quick. Here in the 12th round, we've
Go
got a big tight end run. Tight end is
Yes.
officially empty. So we had Tony at 12-1, and then Gerald Everett, Noah Fant, Robert Tonyan, and then James Robinson, Hunter Henry. We've had 4 tight ends in the first 6 picks of the 12th round. I mean,
I
it
got
is
both my guys.
It is wasteland in
Okay,
tight
so
end.
he goes with
now.
Lockett. So here,
Oh wow, and that's late on Lockett.
I love it there.
I agree with the QB game, with the QB play, but my goodness, at 12-8, I mean, that is just great.
I love it there. Like, man.
Okay, so here's my dilemma, I suppose. Claypool,
Yep.
Gallup, I don't know how many games he's going to miss. You got Christian Watson, which is a possibility there. Rondale
Say
Moore
Watson or Gallup.
or Tim Patrick.
How out are you on Gallup?
I'm not out. I'm just saying he's going to be out a couple weeks.
I take Gallup all day.
I think we're okay
All
because we've
day.
got 3 receivers. I worried about bye weeks and injuries throughout the season.
So
And
we wanna
if
go
I can
Gallup
get enough time. Yeah, I think I think
I'm
we
with
can
you.
make it through the 4 weeks or whatever it is on Gallup, or 6 weeks
I like it.
before bye weeks hit. So I like it.
I like Gallup coming that late, and then you don't have to worry about him until he's ready to roll. And I think he's going to get.
If you're not
he's
banking
the
on
for
him,
sure number 2 there. So
if you're not banking on him as a starter start of the season, he's a great play at
Yeah.
this point. I think.
Oh,
I will say this too. Robert Woods in the 11th, man. I really do think he's going to get a ton of. He could be the wide receiver. I know everyone's saying Treylon Burks. He could really be that guy there.
And if we're even debating who it is, the fact that Burks goes in the 7th round and Woods in the in the 11th, I mean, whew. And Robert Woods, by the way, I forgot. D-Hop is 30. I think Robert Woods is only 29. Like, everybody's so out on Robert Woods. It's
I know
probably
he
a
tore his
little overblown.
ACL and stuff. I get it, but
Right.
I mean, I still think he's
But
going
he tore
to
it
be
fairly early.
Yeah, it was preseason.
4
Wasn't
or
it?
5.
Was it
No.
in during season?
It was like, I think it was like week 7.
Was that late? I was thinking it was 4 or 5, but maybe not.
Yeah, but Gallup tore it in. That was late. Was Gallup?
15, I think.
Yeah, he was super.
Yeah, Gallup, that's like the last 5 weeks for you. Last 5 or 6 weeks.
For me, I'm hoping the last 8 or 10, but maybe I'm too optimistic. Like, I'm hoping he misses 6, but maybe I'm too optimistic.
You could. I mean, you never know. Today's game's 7 months.
Dane Pierce there, Conan. I love it.
Yep. All right, let's review some teams here. See what we got.
Yeah. All right, boys.
You want to just start at 1-1,
Hold on, so I'm getting messages.
or what are you thinking?
All right, boys. Yeah, let's start with the first team here.
Yeah. Starting at 1-1. So here's the first thing I see here. Obviously, you've got a great QB in Josh Allen. QB2 is Trey Lance and Deshaun Watson. There's a chance this person has 3 top 8 quarterbacks. There's a chance this person has only 1 top 18 quarterback. There's a lot of risk in this QB room, but the upside is way high.
Yeah,
way high.
but I mean, you got the number 1 quarterback the past 2 seasons.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm not worried about him. I think he's easily pencil him in top 3 quarterback, no problem.
Yeah.
George Kittle, I'm not huge on him, but he's always there, man. He's always a top 5 tight end. And then
I would have liked the second tight end a little later. George Kittle is his only tight end.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where he's going to be super weak. But again, you don't need to play 2 tight ends. There's just benefits if you can get 2 solid tight ends. So it's just a play.
Yep.
So he would flex. He'd probably flex an extra running back, maybe.
Probably not. He's got
out
Jacobs
of there.
Pollard. He's probably going to flex. Tony or Stevenson, I guess, because Godwin's hurt. His plan is Godwin once Godwin's back. I would imagine.
That's a lot of that's a lot of fingers crossed. Saying
There
prayers
is.
every Sunday.
Yeah. You're banking on Pollard as a starter. I like the There's some question marks.
Risk
but-
reward.
Yep. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's a high risk, high reward team.
100%.
Let me.
Alex, what do you think on triple FTP?
So he led off with running back. First person to take a running back off the board. Obviously went with Taylor, which makes sense. Hurts being the number 2. Hopefully he completes, more passes than he did last year at a higher percentage. I think he was like 60% last year.
That's the concern.
Yeah, that's a huge concern. But obviously, if he can get it, I feel like if you're a good QB now, you're over 65%. Like this just should be average. But we'll see. I do love CD Lamb coming off in the 3rd round. To him, he's going to get a ton of targets. AC Lamb, he's a beast. Aaron Jones, yeah, I mean he could be top 15 or top 5. That's know, it's like the downside is he's still a top 15 back. It's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Etienne, if they figure out how to get this offense going, it could be really fun to watch, especially with Etienne. I love the pick there. Dante Johnson, he was the number 1 guy at Steelers. He's going to be, with Ben, he'll be the same with Trubisky, so it makes sense. Gabriel Davis, I love this pick. I think it's
late. Yeah, that's a good pick there.
And that's why
Not
I'm a little
that
bit
late to me.
No,
See, I'm looking at it and seeing guys like
D.
D-Hop. I mean, I guess there's not a ton after it I love, but I don't know. Maybe I need to get some more Gabriel Davis love.
I think
the question. What blows my mind on that?
It's great.
is- yeah, I like him. I'm not gonna. I like him a lot. Him over Adam Thielen is very interesting.
Thielen has a lot of miles on him, and he's been coming off a couple injuries. So
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, even guys like I
mean-
mean, he was over D-Hop and
Bateman.
D-Hop
Drake
makes
London,
sense.
Bateman. I mean,
Bateman
I would
makes-
take all of those guys over Davis for me. But
I
don't
wouldn't
dislike
take
him.
Hopkins. Right, I don't take Hopkins over him. Bateman, I get the argument for sure. But Davis, I think he's so underrated. He's so good, and Allen getting better. To me, it's a great pick. And then you got Dallas, the next pick. His first tight end off the board, late, solid though. It's just with Hurts, you don't know. He's got more weapons. AJ Brown's there. Are some of those targets getting taken away? Don't know yet. I think it's a little late for tight end, but it's a good tight end, I guess, that late. Jameis Winston, high upside, or could be a disaster. He's got the talent. He's shown it before, but he's also a huge turnover machine. Chase Edmonds could be the lead back at Miami. And Valdez-Scantling. I mean, these guys, he's going to the Chiefs. It's going to be a high volume passing team. And then Gerald Everett, which is not a bad tight end if you're getting the last round.
Yeah. What I see here is probably the best running back room in the league. But some QB question
For
mark,
sure.
some receiver question mark. There's some questions there.
Tight
but
end
you got
question
good running
mark.
backs for it.
Right.
The next
Loaded
team,
up on
we need to spend some serious time on the next team. This is, to me, runaway best team in the league. Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right.
I
So
do
here's
like
what I've got.
What kind
Hey,
of tea are you sipping there, Cody?
The QB, I got Justin Herbert, and then I'm going to super flex Tua. Don't totally love that super flex of Tua, but I'm okay with it. I mean, I think
cool
it's going to
with
be
that.
fine with the weapons they have. Running
Yeah.
back, I'm starting Eckler and Damian Harris with Darrell Henderson on the bench. I kind of took the approach. I wasn't worried about running back. I'm going to make it work throughout the season. And I got 3 guys I'm okay with starting personally. Receiver, I'm starting Mike Evans and Mike Williams, and then I'll be flexing Adam Thielen until D-Hop comes back. So once D-Hop's back, I'll flex Evans, Williams, and D-Hop at receiver. Evans, Williams, and then flex D-Hop.
Yeah, I feel like Thielen's always he does very well in the beginning, and then if he does get hurt, he'll fade off in the end, and you're gonna
Just get me
Pop
5
D-Hop
TDs
in
the
there.
first 6 weeks. That's what I'm asking for.
Start him early.
Yep. And then tight end, I've got Dalton Schultz with a little insurance on Noah Fant. I probably won't be flexing Noah Fant like we talked about maybe doing with the tight end. He's more just insurance. Robbie, give me Steele.
Yeah, Ian Steele, he goes with Patty Mahomes at 1-4. I'm surprised he lasted that long. Dalvin Cook at 2-9. Justin Fields at 3-9. So I probably would have went Tua there instead, but I mean, you got the rushing ability of Jay Fields, so he's obviously got some faith in what's going on in Chicago. Saquon Barkley at 4-4. Darnell Mooney, so he's stacking Justin Fields in the number 1 receiver. Or that's DJ Moore, I'm sorry. DJ Moore at 5-9. Jalen Waddle, 6-4. Darnell Mooney at 7-9. So he is still he's still stacking that combo. Which if it pans out, it could be a league winner.
Mm-hmm.
And then his 3, Daniel Jones, in 8-4. I mean, the way the board fell and everything, I don't hate it. Him before Carson Wentz is a little interesting, but you get the rushing upside of Daniel Jones, so that helps.
Right.
9-9 Kareem Hunt, I do think that's a steal. I think he's going to be involved in the offense. I think he's going to be very good. At 10-4, he goes with his first tight end with Irv Smith. And then 11-9 Sky Moore, so taking the upside here with a rookie in that Kansas City offense. And then Robert Tonyan at 12-4, which me and Mario talk about him ad nauseum, and we think he's going to be awesome. So I do like his tight end room.
Really, I like his running back room, his receiver room. His tight end room scares me a little more than you guys. I think this is a solid team. I think you got Justin Fields question
Pretty
marks.
solid.
Yeah, Justin Fields question marks and a little bit of tight end question mark, but it's not bad.
He stacked some players. He stacked Jay Field with Darnell Mooney, Patty Mahomes with Sky Moore. So if it pans out, it could be very interesting.
Yep. All right, next up we got Smither here. QB room is Lamar Jackson and then super flexing Aaron Rodgers. So really nice QB room there, including the super flex. Running back, we got Joe Mixon, Zeke, Cam Akers, Michael Carter, and James Robinson. Nice value there late on James Robinson. And I think he's just fine with, Mixon and Elliott. And I don't love Akers, but he's just fine at running back. Receiver room is Deebo Samuel, St. Brown, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave. Obviously Deebo is good. St. Brown is good. Devonta question mark, Chris Olave question mark. I think receiver's kind of the weak spot on this team, but I think it's a nice team. And then Gesicki at tight end.
Yeah, it's running backs are solid. I like the running backs. The
so is
Gesicki's
his only tight end,
right?
Little scary.
Makes me nervous.
Yeah. Little question marks at
the receiver room probably scares me more than
Right.
it does you, Rob. Just with
I love Amon-Ra. Deebo scares me.
Yeah.
Deebo's. I mean, I'm not big on Smith this year, so yeah. I'm not crazy about the receiver room, but it's a lot. I think this is another kind of boomer bust with Zeke, with Cam Akers, with Smith, Olave. I think there's a lot of boomer bust potential, so it can go either way.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. On Shadowcat, I'm going to hit the red flag here at first, but I think there's a lot of nice stuff here. So I say that I'm just going to hit it, but then there's nice stuff. QB room is Trevor Lawrence and Carson Wentz in a super flex. Could hit. I have some Carson Wentz could be decent this year. Love T-Law. Maybe, he takes a big step forward. If that happens, he'll be fine, but probably one of the weaker QB rooms. But, at receiver, you got Justin Jefferson, Allen Robinson, Garrett Wilson, Christian Kirk, and Jamison Williams. Yeah. Running back, Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, James Conner, Antonio Gibson. So really nice receivers and running backs overall. Tight end is Hunter Henry's the only tight end. So I think QB and tight end is really a little thin here, but just a loaded up skill.
So that's where it's scary for this format because it is
a little bit
quarterback heavy. It is tight end heavy. So he's definitely kind of taking the risk with hopefully Lawrence and Wentz pan out. And he's kind of punting the tight end position, which it could, who knows? It could pay off because tight ends, they are who they are at the end of the day. So,
all right, Popes, we've got QB room of Joe Burrow with potential super flex of Ryan Tannehill. Tight end, Kyle Pitts, feeling good there. Running back, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, James Cook. I don't love James Cook, but that's a nice running back room to me. And then receiver room is T. Higgins, Treylon Burks, Michael Thomas, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jacoby Myers. Loving T. Higgins. I think you're going to be clawing together wide receiver 2 and maybe one of your flex positions a little bit out of another receiver, but pretty well-rounded team, I think. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I do like – I'm not huge on Tannehill, but I do like Burrow. I like Pitts. I like Swift, Higgins. Like his starters, his number one guys in the position are going to be good. I like – the running back room could be really good, and there's a lot of depth there. But kind of like you said, Wide receiver room could be clawing back out. Thomas, who knows what he is. Burks, we don't know what's going to happen. Higgins, Higgins is going to get targets. But, yeah, overall, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Alex, give us your team. Keep on trucking, man.
All right, so Cooper Kupp with the first pick, and then Brady and Matt Ryan and Goff are going to be my QBs. I like the depth. I like the completion percentage.
I like it.
But with Kupp, Adams, and Drake London and Tyler Lockett, those are my receivers. I think I got value with Lockett late and Goff. And then I have Montgomery, Sanders, and Singletary. So those guys are, for me, purely based off of do they stay healthy and do they get the share that they're supposed to be. In theory, they should be really good. And then for tight ends, I took DJ Hawkinson. I think this is going to be his career year, as well as Goff being, in the top 15. And then Pat, I like as a safety tight end and with guy with high upside.
Yeah, I like it, Alex. I think that is a nicely rounded out team.
Yeah, I agree. This
little bit of RB worries. Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. This might be one of the more rounded teams.
Other than pick 3.
Yeah. I mean, besides pick 3, it's fantastic. But
Miles Sanders, I think, is it's going to have to pan out.
RB2, I think RB is, but you know what? The scoring format, RB is where I'd like to have my question marks. So I'm okay with it. But if there was a hole to poke, I think RB2 is it.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Rob, I know you know Rob Norton, so why don't you give me a rundown there?
Yeah. So he went with Kyle Murray at 1-9. That seems to be the play. Kyle Murray, I've been watching this, and he seems to always go kind of mid first, so I do like the value there. Christian McCaffrey, some people love him, some people aren't as high, but I do love Christian McCaffrey. I probably would have went Najee instead, but in this format, but it is all, if he stays healthy, he could end up being running back 1. Steph Diggs, I think he's going to be a PPR machine. I really do like him there in the 3rd. And then you go with Lenny Fournette, top 12 running back from last season. Can't hate the pick there at 4-9. Darren Waller, you got to get your premium tight end. He gets it here in the 5th round, which is good value there for where everybody was going. Cortland Sutton, 6'9". We're talking about him, trying to get him later on for us, actually, in that next pick, I think. Brandon Cooks, he was another one we were talking about, so we're big on these receivers. I think it's just a safe floor with Brandon Cooks.
These are safe receivers.
Steady Eddie, he's going to do what he does, and you don't really need to worry about him. Zach Ertz, so he does get 2 very nice tight ends, and that's late 8-9 for Zach Ertz. That's fantastic value. This is where it gets a little interesting for me. Zach Wilson as his QB2, that's tough in this format, so he's super flexing Zach Wilson. So if he takes a step forward, his team's going to be super nice. If not, you got some concerns. 10-9, Rashad Penny. I think he's going to have a great year, so I do love that value in the 10th round. Russell Gage in the 11th. Me and Cody were talking about him a little earlier. I'm a fan. I still think that offense can support 3 receivers even when Godwin comes back. So with the value there in the 11th as his 4th receiver, I can't argue it. Yeah. I can't argue it. And then Alexander Madison here in the 12th round. You're kind of banking on an injury, but if that happens, he can be a league winner. So
I like this team.
I do too.
That's 2 top 6 running backs in my rankings, 3 nice receivers, really good tight end room. QB2 is a weakness, I think it's fair to say, with Zach Wilson. But if he likes Zach Wilson, this is a nice team. That's a well done job.
If Zach Wilson takes a step forward, that could be a fantastic team.
That's a competing team. Yep.
And then we go to the league winner. So we're gonna go with Travis Kelce here. First tight end off the board at 110. Again, tight end premium. You get that extra half point for reception, extra half point for first downs, which that's all Kelce does. So I think that's a fantastic pick there at 110. Then we go with Derek Carr there in the 2nd round. Me, Cody, I think the entire Dad Bod squad is super high on Derek Carr this year. So I love that in the 2nd round.
I'll throw out, I know I said this before. I wish it was Stafford there, but I like Carr.
I was just going to say that we do want Stafford there. We have him slightly higher in this format. But I'm happy with Carr. I'm not going to be upset about taking Carr there in the 2nd round. I think that's good. I think that's right for this format, and I'm happy with it. I'm super happy we got Kirk Cousins there in the 3rd. Everyone knows how high I am on him. And I think, again, just the completion percentage format, the points for touchdowns, I don't think he's going to throw a lot of interceptions. I love him here in the third. I think that's kind of a steal, to be honest with you. Keenan Allen in the fourth for our first receiver taken off the board. I like it a lot. I think he's the first down. He gets the first down every time, so that helps in those extra points. I think that's a good pick there. Terry McLaurin, Cody and myself, we're super high on him. We have him in our top 15. We think he's going to take a step forward.
Yep.
We think he's going to take a step forward with Carson Wentz, and I'm thinking he's going to get at least 130 targets this season. So I'm super excited for that. AJ Dillon, our first running back, I'm fine with it. The way we kind of laid our team out, so we knew we were going to punt the running back position just because it's not the premium position in this format. So we kind of knew we were going to play it out and see how it falls to us. AJ Dillon fell in the sixth, and I was willing to take that gamble there. I'm happy with it. I think he'll be a solid running back. Our third receiver is going to be Amari Cooper in the seventh. Again, he was the 22nd,
I believe.
22nd receiver off the board. He's the clear-cut number one there. He's going to get the targets. Even if it's Jacoby Brissett, he's still going to get 130 targets. I'm fine with it. He'll be the third down guy there too. I had no question about it. Ken Walker, I got autoed there. I'm fine with a running back. I probably would have went Kareem Hunt if it was up to me, but I'm okay with Ken Walker there. Second tight end, Cole Kmet. This is a guy that we're targeting later in the draft here. Tight end premium again. So we think he's going to get a ton of targets, a ton of work in the red zone. So we're super high on him this offseason. Davis Mills is our third tight quarterback. Cody, do you like that there in the 10th? Or was it
not my ideal choice, but it's a QB3, so I can live with it. I like of what was on the board, yes. That's maybe the
it was kind of very slim pickings, and it was
he was the last QB picked. Look at the board. I mean, it was your bottom of the barrel.
Just kind of it was between him and Mitch Trubisky with the last two starting quarterbacks. Yep. So in this format, you kind of need three quarterbacks. So we had to get one, and I'm higher on Davis Mills than a lot of other people. So I'm definitely fine with that in the 10th. Cordell Patterson, we talked about a top 12 running back from last year. I don't think he'll do it again this year, but in the 11th round, I'm fine with it. He'll still get the receptions. He'll still be on the field involved. I'm okay with it there.
And we're not starting him. He's a bye week fill-in. Right. I love that for a bye week fill-in.
Yeah, he's a solid, depth piece that if we need him, we can throw him in. I'm okay with that. Michael Gallup, same kind of deal. He's our fourth receiver off the board. He's kind of waiting in the wings. When he's ready to play, he'll come in, and he's going to be the number 2 receiver there in that pass-heavy offense in Dallas. And I'm okay with it. I'm fine with him coming in, and I think he'll be a nice addition when he's ready to play.
Yeah. Overall, I think this is a good template for Saturday. I think there's a good chance there's a lot of similarities here to what we draft on Saturday. I think.
Yeah, it's very solid. I think running back, obviously, probably where you can have the biggest improvement. And then one last thing I want to say is David Mills looks like the thumb bots from the Spy Kids movie from my side. Okay. Like he's a thumb wearing a jersey.
That's good. I like it.
That movie, man, I haven't seen that movie forever.
Oh, it's still
fantastic good. Call. He does look like a thumb. So,
all right, I'm gonna hit these last two here. So we got Tony, nice QB room, Dak Prescott and Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Nice running back room, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, and Alvin Kamara. Tight end Dawson Knox, and then receiver is AJ Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Hunter Renfrow, Brandon Ayuk, Robert Woods, Tyler Boyd. One of those teams where I think clearly receiver is probably the weakness, if you want to say there's one, because it's a nice team. But I like his later receivers more than his early. I don't have a ton of AJ Brown love. I think there's questions with Jerry Jeudy, not a dislike, but just you don't know what you're getting exactly. But then the Renfrow, Ayuk, and Robert Woods grabs late are really nice insurance.
What I would say here, I love this team. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you took Pittman there at 4'11", and then maybe an Amari Cooper or Brandon Cooks there instead of Jerry Jeudy, because I'm not super high right there on Jerry Jeudy. But
Well, and let's even say maybe in the Kamara spot, because if we say this is a league where running back maybe isn't as important, don't take
DK.
Kamara yet, and let's say you take DK.
Right.
So let's say you have
Right.
Pittman and DK instead of AJ Brown and Kamara.
then you get
Those,
a running back there, Miles Sanders.
Those receivers are
third.
going to be touchdown scarce.
Yeah.
I like that team a lot. If you can play that out a little bit better,
I
like
agree.
Pittman instead of, and that's just again that's a personal preference on those
for
are the
sure.
players.
It's a
we're
nice
high
team
on.
as is. Just
Yeah.
Those
lot
are
of
those are
upside.
the players that we're higher on just off our board. But yeah, if you have Michael Pittman as your receiver 1, DK receiver 2, and you
With
go
Henry
with
and
like
Chubb.
a Miles Sanders as your RB3.
Oh, you're fine at RB3. Yeah. And honestly, if you have Chubb and Henry, like the way this league is, I'm probably just taking a guy like, we took Patterson quite a bit later, like a player like that.
Yeah, you could
I
play
think
that
make
out.
a good bad team.
The only thing is, that tight end. You're banking on Knox there. I'd probably rather have Komet.
Knox has a better QB. I like him at more too. Knox is just going to have a safer
fair.
QB throwing the ball.
He's at least starting quality. It's not a strong point of this
He
team.
had some big games last year.
But I don't think it's necessarily going to hinder this team. If that
Yeah,
makes
but
sense.
I mean, I really really like this team. I like
I
the
do too.
setup
I like
of
it.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One stat, one day. Last team here. We got QB room of Russell Wilson and then Mac Jones. Mark Andrews at tight end. So nice. Russell Wilson, Mark Andrews there at the 1-2 turn. Jamar Chase, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, Moore, and Alan Lazard at receiver. Nice receiver room, really, with Jamar
That's
Chase.
a fantastic
Pittman, DK.
receiver room.
Yeah. And then he approached running back a lot like we did. He kind of waited
I
a little
still
bit.
really like it.
Yeah,
It's so good.
He took Breece Hall in the fourth. Elijah Mitchell, Melvin Gordon, and then Damian Price. Waited on running back,
Pierce.
but I don't dislike. Pierce. Sorry. I got the first name right and then butchered the last name. What's the odds of that? Waited on running back, but I don't dislike the running back.
No, man, it's a really solid team that has potential for a lot of touchdowns.
It is.
Yeah, he's
if you
a
wanted to
stat
poke
guy,
a hole,
very
go ahead, I'm sorry,
statistic forward. And I know there's a lot of positive stats on Elijah Mitchell, so I'm sure he's super high on him. Go ahead, Cody.
Well, all I was gonna say, and I'm the poke a hole guy because I like these teams, but I'm looking for okay, what would scare me if I own this team? QB2 with no QB3, so QB2 of Mac Jones and then no third quarterback gives me a smidge of pause in the scoring format. But I mean, I'm digging here because I like this team.
It's one of my top 3 favorite teams.
So that's something I think what we kind of noticed here. Personally, of me, for what I've seen, I do like the later 10, 11, 12, even 9, 10, 11, 12. I like those teams a lot. I think there's a lot of value with how those teams were set up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, guys, let's wrap her up because we ran long here. This was a fun one. Like doing this. Looking forward to Saturday doing the live draft and seeing what kind of squad we put together for the entire Dad Bod group. Rob, why don't you throw me a little bit of social media, etc., before we sign off here?
Yeah, so go follow us on our Twitter at DadBodFS. Subscribe to our YouTube and our Twitch, DadBod Fantasy Squad. And then you can catch this right after we close up here. I'll get it up there. It's going to be on Spotify. It's going to be on iTunes. It's going to be on all the major Apple podcasts. It's going to be on all the major podcast platforms. So once we're off here, I'll upload everything and we'll be ready to roll. So go follow us at all our social medias. We got other stuff coming out hopefully soon. We got a lot of stuff in the works for you guys. So stay tuned for that. But yeah. We're excited that you guys are with us, and we'll get into our Scott Fish Bowl experience on the Monday pot.
Let's crush it, boys.
Yep.
Right,
Beautiful.
guys.
Okay, so for Rob and Alex, and Rob's name I just realized after an hour and 20 minutes says Cody on the screen.
Does.
So apologies there. That is in fact Rob. But for Rob and Alex, I'm Cody. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.